friends, I'm Kim from Cosmic Studios, and today I would like to make a sun. We'll call it a dangle. It can be a keychain. It could be a pendant. This size right here would actually make a pretty cool pendant. I made it in a very soft aluminum wire just to make sure that I could do it and handle it. So we're going to make something that looks similar to this, but not exactly. It's going to look very close, but not identical. We're going to make it cool and zhuzhy and nice. And let's see here. I have my card making stuff out still, so let's get that out of the way. And I want to use, I have some copper colored wire here, but I want to use actual copper. So if you will excuse me for 1 second here, I need to see what size copper wire have I got in here. You could use a 16 gauge, and I believe this, now let's just check it. I have some beads over here, and I haven't 100% decided if I want to put any beading on it whatsoever, but just for grins, let's give this a shot. And I should probably put my glasses on because I cannot see. I think the 16 gauge, nope, fits just fine. Okay, so I could, if I wanted to, put a bead in the center of it, and I'm not completely convinced that it needs a bead or any beads at all. But what I am going to do is I'm going to cut roughly 12 inches, and I'm sorry I do things in inches. I was going to try and see if I had a metric measurement here, but anyway, I do need my cutter. So we're going to start off with, well, like I said, we are starting off with about 12 inches, right there. There we go. And you will notice that I have some pieces down here of very thin, this is either 26 gauge or 28 gauge. And for whatever reason, just try to remember that the higher the gauge, the thinner the wire. So if it's 26 gauge or 28 gauge, they're going to look very similar. But remember, this is, we're going to call it 26 gauge for grins, and this is 16 gauge. You see the difference in the two. But we're going to use these to kind of thread in some beads because I thought that might be kind of fun. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to start off with my flat nose pliers. And the reason I like these is because they don't have any sort of a grip along here. And why I like it without a grip is because of the fact that with the grip, when you're trying to hold the copper in place, it'll mar your copper a little bit. So I'm going to try using this to just kind of start a little, actually what I could do, let's try this real quick. I have my needle nose plier, or my round nose pliers here. I could try those to start and get a little bit of a coil going here. I'd like a little bit of a spiral, and I think that's okay. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to kind of gently work this around a little bit. And you notice I'm just kind of holding it. Now there are people out there who are much better at this than I am, and they get a nice rounded coil, and my coils sometimes have a little bit of a straight edge to them, if you will. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some coils, some spirals rather, and I think that's a good amount right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this going to just put these right there. If you can kind of see how I have this. I've just got it right here, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to take it backwards, and I'm going to fold it down like so, and then I'm going to pinch right here, and I'm going to bring this kind of out. And I'm going to do it back. I'm just going to pinch right in that little crevice right there, and I'm going to push down towards our spiral here. Now, to me it looks a little bit funny because of how I had to coil this back here, but I think it's going to be okay. You notice this has one as well. And I'm going to pinch right here, and we're going to go bend it back up. And then I'm going to put this right back in there, and we're going to just get it as close as we can right there, and we're going to bend it right back towards the sun again. And again, bring it up like so. And I want to kind of bring it in a little bit closer here, kind of like that touching a little bit. Alright, now we're going to take this, bring it back like this. Could actually take it probably in a little bit more like that. And then again, I'm going to bring it out like this. Again, we can kind of get it more closer to the spiral there. And we are going to pinch it again here. Bring this back here like so. And we're just going to keep kind of going. And it's going to give us a little bit of a whimsical sun. Now, you can, if you want to, you can make this much bigger. Now, in doing that, obviously you're going to use a lot more material, but you could make it much bigger, and you could actually hang this in your window. This is more, I'm going to call it keychain size, if you will. But this is one of the easiest little projects that you're going to find. One of the easier, I should say. I don't want to say the easiest, but it's a pretty easy process here. A pretty easy process. And we're going to, again, we're going to just keep kind of going back and forth and giving the sun its little rays here. Okay, now I think it's looking pretty cute here, but we do want to kind of lock this in a little bit, and in order to do this, I'm going to take this here and I am going to bend it up. Because if I try and bend it any other way, it's going to kind of disrupt this motion here. So I'm going to bend that up. And I'm going to come over here now. And what I want to do is I want to bend it back the other way. I'm going to just hold these two pieces like this, and I'm going to fold it over this way. And I'm going to give this a little bit of a bend. If you can see what I'm doing here, I'm going to give this a little bit of a bend, and I'm going to put it right here while still holding the two ends together. So in doing that, I'm going to hold it tightly in this hand, and I'm going to use this hand to just very gently pull it through, because I don't want it disrupting our shape too much there. So I'm going to kind of move these a little bit here, and I'm going to give it a little more pull here. Actually, I think this would probably be best done with the littler guys there. Okay, I have that pulled pretty nicely there. This would actually be easier if I had used an 18 gauge wire, but that's okay. That is actually totally okay. And see, I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of pinch this together. And that's going to create a little bit of a coil right there. And what it has done is it has connected these two pieces here. Now you could, if you want to, for safekeeping, is you could pinch this down and you could actually push this back through there a second time. And this is where it can get a little tricky and a little dicey, as you can see. Oops, okay. Like I said, it gets a little tricky and a little dicey over here. So I'm going to hold this with the smaller pliers. Try not to get your fingers too involved in it. And by that I mean don't poke them. Try not to poke your fingers. Okay, I have this pulled through here, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to give it a nice strong pull like that. And again, I'm just going to bend those pieces there, and then I'm kind of looking at it for a second here because I want to decide what I want to do with the end of this coil, or the end of this little connector here. Because I don't want it poking out, but I think what I can do is give it a little bit of a snip. You're going to want to hold tight, and you want to make sure that you're only snipping this part right here. So hold it with your fingers. That way you hold that and it doesn't go flying somewhere that you're going to find later with a foot or a toe, or a child might find it, you know. Safety first, guys, safety first. Alright, I'm going to hold this here, and I am going to push this around a little bit here, because I want that tucked. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to try and see if I can give it a little bit of a twist up to make it a little more, which is actually pretty good. There we go. This is where things can get a little dicey, and you can, it's kind of popping around here on me. So, this is where we kind of look at it and decide which side we think looks best. I think they both look pretty good. And this is where you can start having some fun and actually putting in some beads if you want to. To finish this one off, because I am going to be hanging it from a dangle, like a purse, you can, as I have mentioned in the past, you can make your own findings for these things. You can make your little hangers and all of that stuff, but today I really just kind of want to use one of these little bulb pins, because for me this is just literally, I want to make a dangle out of it. So I'm going to just put this on here like so, and it is going to make a cute little hanger there. But now I kind of want to put in some faceted beads, and I believe these beads are called briolette, and I believe that they are 6mm. So I'm thinking, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little things there, and I kind of want to go every, I think we'll do one on each sun ray there. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, and I'm kind of thinking maybe one in the center, kind of cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here, and I'm going to just run it right through here very, very easily. And it's going to be a little bit tricky to see this, but I am going to loop it. And I'm going to send it back through, which is going to be a little tricky here, but I'm going to send this little piece back through here. Give it a little tug there. Okay, so kind of what I think I wanted to do is give it a little bit of a roundness here and send it through this little piece here. Okay, I think we're going to open this up just a little bit. Okay, send that back through, and it's going to become like a little we'll take it through one more time. There we go. Okay, and we basically have a piece of thread here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this up through this portion here. We're going to grab a bead. This will go right on super, super easily, and I'm going to wrap this right here. And I'm going to give it just a little bit of a tug. Can't get caught up on things. There we go. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go through this one here. Again, we're going to put another bead on. Sometimes it's really fun to find where the little opening is on the beads. There we go. Alright, I'm going to bring this up and back through. There we go. Come on. Come on, you there. There you go. Alright, there we go. And we're going to go up over here. You do need to be really careful with thin gauge wire, because I'll tell you what, this stuff can get really fun sometimes, and by that I mean it'll poke right through your skin. It does not care. Oops, alright, let's go for another one here. Here we go. Usually I have a little felted pad down here, which is kind of nice, but I don't have it right now. It is serving another purpose somewhere. Alright, there we go. And we're going to move on to the next one. We'll go down through here. There we go. Actually, we wanted this more right there. There we go, which is nice because you can kind of move them around. You're still able to maneuver them, which is nice. And then we're going to go over here, and we're going to come up. And we're going to grab this one here. There we go. Come up, secure it in place. There we go. And because we are getting ready to run out of wire here, I don't want to run out of wire. Give it a little bit of a grab here. I think I might be able to get one more on here, and then we're going to have to use a new one, which is fine. Okay, there we go. And we're going to run this back through. You want to be careful too when you're running this back through and pulling with tools and all of that good stuff. And the reason you want to be careful is because sometimes you pull too hard and the copper wire will just break on you. So I'm just literally going to give this one more little thread through here. I'm going to give it one more little pull through here. I could just keep going here, and it's going to be fine either way. But I think what I want to do is I kind of want to just trim it right here. And it will be just fine. And then we're going to go on to our next little piece here. Again, we want to start off like this, hold it in place, and we're going to give it a couple turns through here. Here's one, give it one more. There we go. Actually, I want to go one more time because I think I just pulled it straight. Yeah, I did. Look at that. This stuff is really, it's kind of fun sometimes. Anyway, we're going to hold it like that. I wonder if it'd be better if we just did this, ran it through here. Come on, little guy. Oof, she's going way over there. Okay, there we go. There you go. Okay. Holding it with these super pinchers seems to be the trick. So I'm going to run it through one more time. I'm sorry for my voice. I got sick last week. I really didn't feel good in my last video. Not at all. Feeling a lot better though. So there's that. Okay, now we're going to put this here. And we are going to go over here and go down through here. Come on. There we go. Oops, and we got caught up over here. Just back it out. If you get caught up, back it out. Try not to get caught up though, because that'll frustrate you, and you don't want to get frustrated. Nobody wants to be frustrated. Am I right? I'm right. Okay. I'm going to pull that up like that. And we've just got this last little orange one, and then we'll move on to the center. Alright, so you're going to take this down through here, and then we're going to go down through here. It's just got so many places to go. There we go. Okay, and now I am going to go over here, and I'm going to go down through this one. If you can see what I'm doing there, hopefully. And we're going to keep that like, oops, where the heck are you going? There we go. Okay, so we're going to go down through there, and through the back we're going to come up through the center, just like this. And that just came right out of the hole. So we're going to back it down a little bit. Try and back it down a little bit. Doesn't want to back down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I wanted to hook up through that center right there. I wanted to get caught in there, and it did. And now we're going to take this last one, and we're going to give the sun a cute little yellow center. And I'm going to run it down here through one of the outer rings, the one just above it. I'm going to come back up over here. And I really am trying to get it over here. There we go. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take it around this edge over here. And then I'm going to take it up this edge over here. And it's going to have some, little cross wires in it, but I don't think it's going to look bad. Anyway, I am going to I'm going to hold it over here, and I'm going to come up over here again. We're just going to keep going around and around a little bit until we have that little piece in the center secured and where we want it. I think it's looking pretty good. I think that's looking like that's where we want it. So we have our little sun here. I'm going to keep going with this stuff over here though, because I think it's worth going around and around and securing it as best we can. So I do want to use these because these make life slightly easier. I'm just going to keep going around and around over here. It's looking pretty good over here. So just go one more time here. And then one more time up through the back. And now I think I want to go ahead and just trim it with my little cutters here, as close as we can, right there. There we go. Alright, so we have a very cute little sun dangle. If you're not happy with the exact placement of these, because the wire is so thin that you use to thread this with, it'll hold pretty well, but it'll also wiggle pretty well for you so that you can get things placed where you want it. Anyway, there we go. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope that you will give something like this a try, and I will leave my materials in the description box below. Please like and subscribe my videos. It really helps my channel grow. And I do hope that you will give this a try and awaken your inner artisan. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!